My girlfriend said, "Your accent is embarrassing. Don't talk when we're around my colleagues." I replied, "Understood." Then I started speaking my native language exclusively at her work events. Her panic when her boss asked me to translate for their overseas client. Original post: I, 32 male, moved here from Poland 12 years ago. Got my engineering degree, landed a solid job at an aerospace company. My English is fluent, technical presentations, client meetings, the works. But yeah, I have an accent. Never bothered me until I met Jessica. Jessica, 29, works in marketing at some fancy consulting firm. We'd been together 2 years, living together for 6 months. Everything seemed good until her company's holiday party 3 months ago. We're getting ready, and she drops this. "Hey, quick thing. When we're at the party, maybe don't talk too much. Some of my colleagues are really particular about communication, and your accent can be distracting." I stopped tying my tie. "Distracting?" She rolled her eyes. "You know what I mean. It's just hard to understand sometimes. And these are important people, Wojtek. Image matters in my field. My name's not that hard to pronounce." "See, that's exactly what I mean. It's Wojtek, but Americans hear it wrong. Just let me do the talking tonight, okay?" I went to that party, smiled, nodded, spoke maybe 10 words all night, watched her introduce me as Walter to everyone. Not Wojtek, Walter. The drive home was silent until she said, "See? That wasn't so bad. You did great." Like I was a trained dog who'd successfully not peed on the carpet. That's when I decided she wanted me quiet? Fine, but I'd do it my way. Update 1. Started my plan the next week. Jessica's company had regular client dinners, networking events, weekend golf things, real schmoozy stuff. And she always wanted me there. Apparently having a boyfriend who was an engineer looked good as long as I didn't open my mouth. First event after the holiday party was a client dinner, fancy steakhouse. Her boss Robert was there, couple other executives, some clients. Jessica introduces me as Walter. He's in aerospace. Robert extends his hand. "Good to meet you, Walter. What kind of projects?" Jessica starts to answer for me, but I beat her to it. "Przepraszam, nie mówię po angielsku." Dead silence. Jessica's face goes white. Robert looks confused. "I'm sorry?" Jessica laughs nervously. "He's joking, Walter. Stop being silly." I maintain eye contact with Robert. Shrug. "Nie rozumiem." Jessica kicks me under the table. Hard. "He speaks English," she practically shouts. "He's being ridiculous." I turn to her, very calmly in perfect English but with my accent turned up to 11. "You said my accent is embarrassing, that I shouldn't talk at your work events. So I'm not talking in English. Problem solved, yes?" The table goes quiet. Robert clears his throat. "Jessica, what's he referring to?" She scrambles. "It's a misunderstanding. We were joking about accents and no joke," I say, then switch back to Polish. "Może zamówię stek? Jestem głodny." Spent the rest of dinner speaking only Polish. Pointed at menu items, nodded, smiled, used hand gestures. The clients looked baffled. Robert kept shooting Jessica looks. She was sweating through her designer dress. Best steak I ever had. When we got home, she exploded. "What the hell was that? I followed your instructions. No talking at work events." "You know that's not what I meant." "Oh? So you want me to talk now?" "In English, like a normal person? My English with accent, or someone else's English?" She threw a cushion at me. "You embarrassed me in front of my boss." "Funny, that's exactly what you said my accent does. Embarrassing, right?" She stormed off to the bedroom, slept on the couch that night. Worth it. Update 2. Jessica tried damage control at work, but Robert wasn't buying it. He pulled her aside, she told me later, during another fight, and asked if everything was okay at home. Were we having relationship issues? Because that dinner was concerning. She begged me to stop. Even did the whole apology thing. "I'm sorry I said your accent was embarrassing. I didn't mean it." "Yes, you did." "Okay, fine. Sometimes it's hard to understand. Is that what you want to hear?" "I want you to admit you're ashamed of where I come from." I'm not. You're twisting things." "Am I, Walter?" She flinched. "Yeah, that one hit." Next event, a cocktail mixer with potential clients. More casual, but still important. Jessica practically held my hand walking in. "Please," she whispered. "Just this once. Be normal." Define normal. Speak English. Be yourself. Myself has an accent. I don't care anymore. Just please don't speak Polish. I smiled. Okay? She looked so relieved. Poor thing. The event's going fine. I'm mingling, accent and all. Jessica starts to relax. Then her colleague Brittany comes over with someone. Jessica, this is Mr. Yamamoto from our Tokyo office. He's here for the merger discussions. Mr. Yamamoto bows slightly. I bow back. He starts speaking to Jessica in rapid Japanese, clearly assuming she'll understand since she's been bragging about the international deals she's been working on. Jessica freezes. Turns to me with panic eyes. Here's the thing. I speak Japanese. Not fluently, but enough. Worked with a Japanese team for 3 years on a satellite project. Never mentioned it to Jessica because, well, she never asked about my work beyond how was your day. Mr. Yamamoto is asking about timeline expectations and wondering if the contracts will be adjusted for currency fluctuations. Jessica's smiling and nodding like an idiot. I step forward. Yamamoto-san, hajimemashite, watashi wa Wojtek desu. His face lights up. We start chatting in Japanese. He's asking about my work. I'm explaining the aerospace industry. We're laughing about the difficulties of learning each other's languages. Jessica's staring at me like I just grew a second head. Brittany's impressed. Jessica, I didn't know Walter spoke Japanese. It's Wojtek, I correct, and Jessica didn't know either. Robert appears out of nowhere. He's been watching. You speak Japanese? And Polish, English, German, and some Russian. But my English has accent, so... I shrug. Robert looks at Jessica. Really looks at her. Interesting. Mr. Yamamoto asks me something about the merger. I translate for Robert. Well, we end up having a three-way conversation with me interpreting. Turns out some of the contract terms were being mistranslated by the official translator they'd hired. I catch several issues that would have cost them millions. Robert's ecstatic. Offers me his business card. If you ever want to move into consulting, call me. Jessica? She's turned into a statue. Car ride home was silent until, you speak Japanese? Yep. Why didn't you tell me? You never asked. Too busy being embarrassed by my Polish accent to learn anything about my actual skills. That's not fair. Neither is being called Walter. Update 3. The Japanese thing changed everything at Jessica's work. Robert started requesting I attend more events, not as Jessica's +1, but as an unofficial translator and technical consultant. Started getting emails directly from him. Jessica was furious. You're trying to sabotage my career. I'm literally helping your company close international deals. By showing off, by being myself, the person you're ashamed of. I'm not ashamed. I just wanted you to fit in. As Walter, the quiet American boyfriend with no accent. She couldn't deny it. Then came the nuclear option. Jessica's company was hosting a huge conference. International clients, investors, the works, black tie formal. She tried to uninvite me, but Robert specifically requested my attendance. I need someone who can work the room with our international guests, he told her. Copied me on the email. The night of the conference, Jessica was stressed, begging me to be professional. I wore my best suit, the one I bought with my bonus for landing the Singapore contract. Yeah, the one she didn't know about because she never asked about my achievements. Event starts. I'm chatting with a German executive in German, a Russian investor in Russian. The Polish consul general shows up. Turns out we went to the same university in Warsaw. We're laughing, sharing stories, all in Polish. Jessica keeps trying to insert herself, but she only speaks English. She's literally locked out of her own networking event. Then Robert makes an announcement. They're launching a new international division. They need someone to head it, someone with language skills, technical knowledge, and cultural awareness. I'd like to thank Wojtek Kowalski for his invaluable assistance these past weeks. You've shown us what we've been missing. He raises his glass to me. Everyone claps. Jessica looks like she might vomit. After the toast, Robert pulls me aside. That offer still stands. We need someone like you. Jessica overheard. You're trying to poach my boyfriend? I'm offering Wojtek an opportunity, one that values all his skills, not just the ones that fit a certain image. Brutal. Robert knew exactly what he was doing. Update 4. That night, Jessica lost it. Full meltdown. You've ruined everything. Robert thinks I'm xenophobic. Aren't you? No, I just wanted you to communicate clearly. I communicate fine, in 5 languages, you just don't like that one of them has an accent. This isn't about languages, it's about you purposely undermining me. This is about you being embarrassed of who I am, where I come from, my name, my voice, everything that makes me, me. She started crying. Not sad tears, angry tears. I gave you everything. Introduced you to my world. Your world where I had to be Walter? Where I couldn't speak? That world? You don't understand how hard it is. Image matters. Perception matters. And the perception that I'm not good enough because I wasn't born here? That's not, you're twisting it. Then why did you introduce me as Walter? Silence. Why did you tell me not to talk? More silence. Why were you embarrassed by my accent? She exploded. Because it makes you sound stupid, okay? Is that what you want to hear? You're brilliant, but the second you open your mouth, people assume you're some fresh-off-the-boat immigrant who doesn't belong in our circles. I was protecting you. No, you were protecting yourself from the embarrassment of dating someone foreign. She grabbed her phone, called her mom. I need to come home. Wojtek and I are done. Her mom's voice through the speaker. Who's Wojtek? I thought you were dating Walter. I actually laughed. She'd been lying to her own family about my name. Update 5. Jessica moved out that weekend, but the entitlement didn't stop. Oh no, it escalated. First, she tried to spin it at work, told everyone I'd been deceiving her about speaking other languages, that I'd manipulated her into looking bad in front of Robert. Brittany called me. Just so you know, nobody's buying her victim act. We all heard her call you Walter for months. Then came the financial demands. Text from Jessica. You owe me for half the rent since you made me leave. You chose to leave. You made it hostile by speaking Polish, by humiliating me, by being myself. She threatened small claims court. I sent her a recording I'd made of her saying my accent sounds stupid and that she was embarrassed of me. Legal threats stopped real quick. But the peak entitlement came when Robert officially offered me the position. Director of International Relations, almost double my current salary. Jessica burst into my office. Yeah, my office. She somehow got past security. You can't take that job. Why not? It's at my company. You're not even qualified. I speak 5 languages and have a master's in engineering. But you don't have marketing experience. Robert seems to think my skills outweigh that. This is revenge. This is consequences. She started crying again. You've destroyed my career. Everyone thinks I'm racist. I never called you racist. I just spoke Polish at a dinner, and Japanese at a mixer, and German. Stop. You did this on purpose. I did exactly what you asked. Didn't speak English at your events. Not my fault you never bothered to learn I could speak anything else. Security arrived. As they escorted her out, she screamed, Your accent is embarrassing. I was doing you a favor. The entire floor heard. Robert sent an email about maintaining professional standards and celebrating diversity in the workplace. Jessica got called into HR. Update 6. Jessica got fired. Not for the scene in my office, though. That didn't help. Turns out when Robert started digging into her work, he found she'd been taking credit for other people's international deals. Co-workers who were immigrants, specifically. She'd been repackaging their work, presenting it as hers, while simultaneously acting like they were beneath her. The Hungarian guy from accounting, the Chinese woman from legal, the Indian team lead from development. All had stories about Jessica editing their reports to improve communication, then presenting the work as her own. She texted me from her mom's phone. This is your fault. You started a witch hunt. You started it when you were ashamed of my accent. I hope you're happy. You cost me everything. No, your prejudice cost you everything. I just stopped hiding it for you. Her mom then texted, You should be ashamed. Jessica was trying to help you fit in. By calling me Walter? It's easier for Americans to pronounce. My name is 3 syllables, Wojtek. If Americans can say Schwarzenegger, they can say Wojtek. No response. Last week was my first international conference as director. Gave a presentation on cross-cultural communication in global markets. In English, with my accent. Got a standing ovation. Robert introduced me to everyone as Wojtek Kowalski, our secret weapon who speaks 5 languages and understands what it really means to be international. The kicker? Jessica applied for a job at my old aerospace company. They called me for a reference. She's very concerned with image and communication, I said. Particularly accents. She prefers people who sound American. They hired someone else. The someone else was from Romania. Has an accent thicker than mine. Final update, it's been 3 months since Jessica got fired. Thought I was done with this story, but last week brought one final chapter. I was at a coffee shop, the one I always went to before Jessica made me switch to the better one where her colleagues went. Reading a Polish newspaper my cousin sends me. Actual paper, because I'm old school like that. Someone sits down across from me. I look up. It's Jessica. She looks rough. Designer clothes replaced with regular stuff. Perfect makeup gone. Just looks tired. Hi Wojtek. First time she'd said my name correctly in months. Jessica? Can we talk? We're talking. I mean really talk. I've been in therapy. I almost laughed. Good for you? No, I mean it. I've been working through stuff about my dad. Your dad? He was Polish. I nearly spit out my coffee. What? Second generation. Changed his name from Kowalczyk to Kowal. Never taught me Polish. Never talked about the family back there. Said it was better to be fully American. You're Polish? Quarter. Maybe half. I don't really know. Dad never talked about it. Just said the old country didn't matter. That we were American now. That accents and foreign names would hold us back. I sat back, processing. So when I heard your accent, she continued, it was like hearing everything my dad ran from. Everything he was ashamed of. And I guess I inherited that shame. That's not an excuse, I know, it's just context. Therapy helped me see it. And you're telling me this why? Because I owe you an apology. A real one. You were proud of who you are, where you come from. You speak 5 languages and I acted like that made you less than. Because deep down I thought it made me less than. Because that's what my dad taught me. She pulled out a business card. I'm working at a translation service now. Entry level. Ironic, right? Surrounded by accents all day. My boss is from Pakistan, has the thickest accent you've ever heard. Brilliant woman. Good for you. I'm learning Polish. Why? Because I want to understand the part of me my dad buried. The part he was so ashamed of that he changed his name and forgot his language. She stood up to leave, then paused. For what it's worth, your accent isn't embarrassing. It's proof you're brave enough to leave everything you knew and build a life in another language. That's not stupid. That's incredible. Thanks. And Wojtek? That presentation you gave last month? I watched it online. You were amazing. The accent makes you sound distinguished, authoritative, real. She left. I sat there with my Polish newspaper thinking about inherited shame and chosen pride. Later, I told Robert the story. He shook his head. Internalized xenophobia. See it all the time. People running from their roots, then punishing others for keeping theirs. Yeah. You know what the irony is? Robert said. I hired you because of your accent. What? It told me you'd bring perspective we didn't have, that you understood adaptation without assimilation, that you could bridge worlds. An accent isn't a weakness. It's proof of range. My phone buzzed. Message from Jessica. Dzień dobry. Still learning. Thank you for the wake-up call. I didn't respond. Some bridges once burned don't need rebuilding. But I did change one thing. Started teaching Polish on weekends. Free classes at the community center. For kids whose parents want them to keep the language. For adults who lost it trying to fit in. Last week, a teenage girl came up after class. Mr. K, my dad says my Polish accent makes my English sound weird. Says I should stop speaking it. What do you think? I think it makes me special. Like I have a superpower, 2 voices instead of 1. Then keep both. Never let anyone make you choose. She smiled and ran off. Jessica was wrong. My accent isn't embarrassing. It's my story. Every rolled R and misplaced article is proof I was brave enough to learn, strong enough to leave, and stubborn enough to stay myself. And Walter? That guy never existed. I'm Wojtek Kowalski. I speak 5 languages, I have an accent, and I'm not quiet anymore.